All right, fantasy ballers. My name's Mr. Football. Want a few tips on who to put in your team this week? Yeah, thought as much. Let's have a look at the fixtures first, shall we? Manchester United kicked things off against Spurs, so should be plenty of goals there. Then it's Bournemouth playing their first ever Premier League game at home to Villa. Couldn't ask for much more than that, could they? Next up, it's Everton at home to newly promoted Watford. And Leicester City and the Tinkerman take on Dick Advocaat's Sunderland. Norwich City at home to Crystal Palace. And then it's Arsenal, go on the Arsenal, up against West Ham. Newcastle take on Southampton, who played in Austria on Thursday night, so they might be tired. And then Stoke City take on the Liverpool. And then finally, it's West Brom on Monday night against Manchester City. Goalies, goalies, goalies. Who are you going to pick between the sticks? Thibaut Courtois. He's the best goalie in the league, in the best team in the league, with the best defence in front of him. Nuff said, my number one. Petr Cech's number two. He's going to make a real difference to Arsenal's defence this year. Kostel Pantilimon. He's Sunderland's number one, but he's my number three. He makes a lot of saves and a few clean sheets too. At 4, it's Boruc from Bournemouth. He's a budget goalie, good with his hands, and he's got some nice fixtures to start the season off. The same can be said for John Ruddy at Norwich. Cheap as chips and unlikely to get battered in the first few game weeks. Next up, it's your back line. At number 1, Cesar Azpilicueta. Any Chelsea player in your defence is a good idea, and he's your cheapest option. He doesn't score many goals, but he gets a few assists too. At 2, Arsenal's Per Mertesacker. Arsenal defence is worth backing this year. The BFG is the cheapest guaranteed starter. And with that towering height, surely he could get a couple of goals off a corner as well. Manchester United's new right-back, Matteo Darmian, he's at number 3. He likes to venture forward, but a good strong Italian defender too. Man U look like they finally got a defence together, fitting round pegs in round holes and supported by a quality defensive midfield presence. Leicester City's Jeffrey Schlupp is at 4, and I'll tell you why. He's down as a defender, but spends all his time playing on the left wing, getting forward, getting crosses in, getting assists. If he can get a few clean sheets too, you're onto a winner with him. And at number 5, Sebastian Coates. A cheap option in a defensive team, gotta be worth a chance. And now the most important part of your team, the midfield. In first place, Eden Hazard. Top point scorer in the whole game last year. If Chelsea are scoring, he's likely to be part of it. Got an eye for a goal, loves an assist, and he takes penalties too. He's a hefty 11.5 mil, but you get what you pay for in this game. In second place, Santi Cazorla. Arsenal's midfielder full of talent, but I'm picking Santi because he's going to play every game. He takes corners, he takes free kicks, and he takes pens too. He's a good shooter and a great all-round player. And at 8.5 mil, I'd back him. At number 3, Southampton's Sadio Mane. He showed us last season he knows where the goal is. A lively little player. He loves a long-range shot, a mid-range shot, and a tap-in too. At 4th spot is Crystal Palace's Yohan Cabaye. Back with his old pal Alan Pardew. He's going to be pulling the strings at Palace. They've got a plethora of strikers, and he's going to be lining them up with some beautiful assists. He's got a cracking free kick in him, and goals to boot too. 6.5 mil, a bargain. And lastly, in 5th spot, Mad Matt Ritchie. He was off the charts last year in the Championship. Assists coming out of his ears, and he had goals coming out his nose. And if he can cut it in the Premier League, his 6 mil price tag will be a right snip. Time for some hat-trick heroes, the brace busters. It's the strikers. Top of the charts is Wayne Rooney for Manchester United. Finally back up top where he should be. He's going to put a lot of goals in, takes penalties, and he can score from any angle. He's a must in your team. Second up is Tottenham's Harry Kane. If he can do half of what he did last year, you'll be laughing. He's the focal point of the Spurs attack, and I can just see him getting better and better. In third spot is Liverpool's Christian Benteke. At last they found a man that they can rely on to play up top by themselves. With some creative midfield players behind him, they'll be supplying him the goods and he'll be delivering the goals. At number 4 is West Ham's Diafra Sakho. If he can stay fit this year, I can see him scoring plenty of goals. He just loves it in the back of the net, and at 6.5 mil, that's plenty of goals for your pretty penny. And at number 5 is West Brom's Ricky Lambert, a prolific goal scorer with Southampton 2 years ago. Wasted a year at Liverpool, but now he's back in a team that suits him and it's going to play him every week. Never missed a penalty, and he's not going to start now. That's it, fantasy ballers. I'm off to watch football. You can thank me later.